Hey guys, this is Marissa and welcome to my channel, The Budgeting Wife, where we talk about budgeting tips that will help you win with money. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I would love to have you as part of my YouTube family. You can scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and if you have been here before, then welcome back. As you guys know, I do videos that talk more about budgeting, but today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm actually going to be doing a baking video. If you couldn't tell, you're in my kitchen, got the KitchenAid stand mixer out, all the baking essentials, and I'm going to be baking a soft pumpkin chocolate chip cookie. I have never made this recipe before, but I found it on Pinterest and it looks super good. I also love that we're getting into fall and more baking season, so I definitely want to take advantage of that. So I'm going to be walking through the entire recipe with you guys. Again, I found it on Pinterest, so I'll go ahead and leave a link to the recipe down below so that you can check it out if you're interested. Also, I will say there are a lot of ingredients here, but most of them you probably already have on hand besides maybe pumpkin puree, but all the essentials are just in this recipe, so I am excited to try it out.
So the first thing that we're going to do is preheat the oven to 375 degrees. Now here are all of the ingredients that we're going to be using. First is a can of pumpkin puree, some regular sugar, vegetable oil, vanilla extract, and 1 egg, flour, baking powder, ground cinnamon, salt, baking soda, milk, and chocolate chips. So now we're going to be putting it all together. So here I am opening up the can of pumpkin puree, and I just need 1 cup of pumpkin puree for this recipe. And now it's time for the sugar, which is also 1 cup. Next, this recipe calls for 1/2 cup of canola or vegetable oil. I just use vegetable oil for this batch. And a teaspoon of vanilla. And finally, 1 egg in the mixture. Now I'm going to be putting everything together in my KitchenAid stand mixer and start mixing up just these ingredients, and we'll be preparing the dry ingredients in a separate bowl. So now it's time for the dry ingredients. I need to measure out 2 cups of flour. And this recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I have seemed to have lost my teaspoon, so this is a 1/2 teaspoon, so you'll see me doing this twice as much as what you think I should be doing. And then 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Half a teaspoon of salt, which I did too much of, so I'm dumping it out in the sink. Definitely don't want too much of that. And now I'm stirring all of the dry ingredients together, mixing them all up, and we'll be adding that to the pumpkin puree mixture that we made in the KitchenAid in a little bit. In a smaller bowl, I have to dissolve the baking soda with the milk, and so I started out in this bowl with just 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and then I realized how big this bowl was, so I transferred it to a much smaller bowl so that I could add in another teaspoon of milk. And we're going to mix them and dissolve the baking soda in the milk. And now to add the small bowl in with the pumpkin puree mixture in the KitchenAid stand mixer, as well as the bowl of dry ingredient mixture. Now that is all mixed up, it is time to add the chocolate chips. And I noticed as soon as I started pouring them that these are actually minis. I meant to just get the regular ones. It ended up turning out fine for the recipe, but the recipe does call for just regular size chocolate chips. But the mini ones did work fine. Also, this recipe calls for 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and I like to add a little bit more chocolate into mine because I'm a chocolate lover. Now it's time to spray the baking sheet and start scooping the cookie dough onto the sheet. And the cookie dough looks great, so it's time to get it in the oven. The baking time that this recipe calls for is 10 to 12 minutes, so we're going to bake them and check in later. So now it has been that time and the cookies are done, looking as good as ever. And of course, we need to make sure that they cool down, so I will be moving the cookies to the cooling rack. After they were done cooling, I moved the cookies to this 2-tier serving platter that I got at Target, which is in the Hearth & Home collection from Magnolia. And there you have it. These cookies turned out so great. They were very delicious and such a great recipe for fall with the pumpkin, and I love the sweetness of the chocolate chip.
So that is all I have for you guys today for this video of my pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. They are super good. I'm over here taste testing one. Very cake-like, but like a good mixture of cake and cookie, so they're pretty good. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are new, and leave me a comment down below and let me know what your favorite fall treat is. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.